Ladies and gentlemen, you will excuse my pink shirt. Was not meant. Thank you very much all for inviting me to be part of the TEDx family here in Nicosia. It's comforting to know that ideas are set forth, travel, they're exchanged, they're frequently questioned, and hopefully they should be finally read and, of course, heard. It's also good to know that my questions would eventually become your questions and questions for everybody. Now, what I will try and do is link culture and monuments with memory and try and explain why memory is the whole picture. I know this is a different topic from what you heard before. This is going to be a bit more serious. And there's a subtitle, which Melina, whom I thank, did not mention. My topic is why monuments matter and the disturbance of memory, and you will understand why. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from afar. I don't count in years, I count in millennia. I have been taught to read through the lines, to see the whole picture. I have been taught to be able to recognize an original from a fake, and most of all, to dig deep down in mud and soil so as to find what I'm looking for. It has never been easy, believe me. Archaeologists are loners and stubborn. We're very often considered as backward members of society. We usually are short-sighted from too much reading. But let me tell you one thing. If we're all here today, if we're all on the map, it is due to one single thing. It is creation, art, traditions, heritage, beliefs, language, skills. Summing it all in one word, it's culture. Now, culture is perceived by most humans in forms that appeal to both the eye and the sentiment. Culture, we have been taught, all of us, to identify culture through a monument, a work of art, a structure. We have nearly to touch it to believe that it is there. Yet again, there's a whole world, a whole incredible, wild world of intangible culture that exists, and we bypass that world every day. And both these two worlds, the tangible and the intangible, are very fragile. And they reveal what I said before. They reveal and they refer to ethnicity, religions, origins, heritage, skills, language. But most of all, and most importantly, they reveal something which is called memory. Now, memory is what we are, our real substance, where we come from, our origins. Memory is essential. And memory, of course, is expressed in culture. Our topic is perspectives. My perspective and my hope is that if we manage to protect our monuments and our culture, we will then protect our memory. And if we protect our memory, then we protect ourselves. I stand in front of you today, and I really am wondering as to where we're heading. Not individually, but as a whole, as people who share the same planet, the same world, under the same sky, the same heritage, a heritage which is made of monuments and men, and there's no reference to Mr. and Mrs. Clooney here. I stand in front of you as a European and a Mediterranean, an Eastern Mediterranean, and a Cypriot. And I raise my voice, and in all honesty, I would like to ask you, do you think that there are perspectives for the future? Do you think we can dare talk about perspectives if today, and at this very moment, a whole world of culture, probably the oldest and most important civilization of the world, our world, the Eastern Mediterranean world, the Fertile Crescent, is torn to pieces. So who cares about monuments? Do you think monuments matter? What is their role in our everyday life and probably in our future life? And do you really think they have a role? I've got tons of questions. I don't have answers to all, but I'll just trick you into some. So question number one, what is a monument? If you pick up the Oxford Dictionary, it says a monument is a structure, a building, a work of art, which is created, erected, conceived to commemorate, important word, commemorate, a notable event or a notable person. If we agree to that, yes, the Via Dolorosa, the Parthenon, the pyramids, Giacometti, Mona Lisa, the city of Aleppo, or the city of Mari, the fortifications of Nicosia, and I will not go into the topic that you all think I will go in. The fortifications of Nicosia are, yes, part of monuments. But what about humble monuments? Do they have to be really out of stone, carved of marble? What about little humble monuments like our villages, our little stone walls, little humble woodwork? Or what about Mozart and Beethoven? Aren't they not monuments? Or what about Newton and Einstein and Freud? Aren't they not gigantic monuments? Or the Seine in Paris, or the Amazon River, or the Black Forest? Are they not monuments to mankind? So let's look back into the definition of a monument. What is a monument? To my eyes, a monument is what human and natural creation, human and natural creation that sustains the world. They're living testimonies of our ability, both natural and human, to trespass time and to become immortal. So monuments relate and tell us about life, past, present, and future. So there's one question. There's another question. Do monuments really matter? I'll trick you into another question. What if somebody comes to you and tells you you have no grandfather nor a grandmother? Wouldn't you then ask, where do I come from? What are my origins? Who was there behind me? How can I prove my existence if nobody was there behind me? Simplistic way of seeing it, monuments are like grandparents. They're a chain that links us to a past, a chain that never breaks, that unfolds, and each and every piece of this chain contains a message for us, each and every one of us, and a message for history. Now, as all these things and all this world, there are two sides to it. If this message, if this meaning is misunderstood or misinterpreted, then controversy appears. It can become nationalistic, or austere conservatism can come up. So we are in front of a huge question. Here are the monuments. Here is what we have in front of us, and we've got a way to go. Monuments for every person are, as I referred to, heritage art. But for each and every one of us, a monument is our own house, our own memories. And when somebody takes these away from us in a violent manner, we lose our footsteps. Because what monuments, the most important contribution of monuments is the security they offer us. The security is amazing feeling, human feeling, that brings balance to ourselves. Now, if these monuments are taken away from us in a violent way, then we lose our footsteps, we lose our sense of orientation, and we lose our security. So destroying monuments is disturbing memory. Freud was up in the Acropolis in 1904. He excavated really like an archaeologist in all the clusters of consciousness. And he tried to understand the mind, and he was the one really to change the way we look at ourselves. And face to face with the marble evidence of the antique world, he looked deeper inside himself, and he started questioning his existence through the monuments, but also the existence of the entire world, the planet, humanity. And as of that, he questioned really what the perspectives are of the legacy these monuments lived to mankind. Later on in his life, he wrote a topic. It was called The Disturbance of Memory on the Acropolis. This is where I picked up the title for my TED talk tonight. So just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if, for instance, the Parthenon was destroyed, if the works of the big thinkers of this world were lost, or if the ideas of Freud, for instance, were not written down, or if the Nazis, like they destroyed people and ideas, if they had eradicated his books, what would the world be like today? There's a necessary internal dialogue that can only happen, can only exist if the past survives. Now, when there's destruction of monuments, there's a way of disturbing memory by creating a void between the people and their places of origin. When this happens, when both memory and monuments are gone, people lose their sense of orientation and their footsteps. And the next thing that is done is people run away, they go away, they flee as nothing binds them anymore to their homeland. And of course, you all know that lost souls and frightened people and scared people are an easier prey. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Middle East today is something that will affect all of us, every single one of you here as well. But the major concern is the culture that is going to be lost. And the culture, as we said before, is not a word which is empty, devoid of meaning and of humanity. Culture is monuments and men. So as we Cypriots watched in 1974 our cultural heritage plundered, looted, destroyed, and as Syrians and Iraqis watch today their own civilization, which is an amazing civilization, turn to ashes, when all these traces to the past, when all these lives and memories are gone, I cannot help but think that that is ground for unlawful reshaping and remaking and changing the world in a most unjust and despicable manner. It's not new. World War I and probably all wars from antiquity down to today use the same method, destroying the monuments, to destroy the memory, to take people away. Let me tell you that in Cyprus in 1974, the monuments that were mostly destroyed belonged to the Greek Cypriot Orthodox churches and cemeteries, holy places of worship. So we can very well say today that destroying monuments is a criminal act and it should be severely punished. And I would say to the leaders of the world and to the countries that these people that destroy monuments should be sanctioned and punished. And then the leaders of the world would come out and say, we would like to stop illicit trafficking. Not the other way around. First punish people that destroy monuments, and then do not allow the trafficking of antiquities that come from places where there's conflict. If you see all that, and if you see what's happening to the Middle East, I have very grim views as to our perspectives. I think that peace is at stake, and just like always, culture is of a lesser importance. Now, the omens are very bad. We know that the official person, the official organization that looks after the culture and the monuments, their protection and preservation, is UNESCO. UNESCO is very good in handling press releases and communiques and announcements. But she has to protect. She hasn't protected Cyprus. We can't see her in Syria. There are lots of press releases, believe you me. But UNESCO needs a new political role. It cannot be, I quote it from its webpage. I quote from their webpage. They say that UNESCO's scope is to bring peace in the minds of men and women. That's not it. UNESCO needs a political role. We need somebody to stop destroying monuments. So, I would like to tell you, are we just going to keep on sitting and watching our screens and saying, this is happening to somebody else, this is happening to Syria, this is happening to Libya, this is happening to somewhere else, it does not concern me? No, this is our perspective. And our perspective is to bring our monuments, Cypriot monuments, world monuments, and to understand the big picture. The big picture is the Eastern Mediterranean. And we have to bring our monuments into our lives. We should stop disregarding our monuments. Monuments is who we are. This is who we are. We should protect them. We should find ways of showing them to our children. We should be proud of our monuments. They should be part of our everyday life. And let me tell you, to finish up, that there's no two ways of behaving as to protecting cultural heritage. There's only one way. We cannot marvel and wait in patience to see what's the next step in Amphipolis, and yet disregard entirely the complete destruction of the citadel of Aleppo. Thanks very much.